try to see if they can play from one side of the map on purpose. Wonder what Tabe is kind of cooking with this idea. And bans still look very similar. We're getting a Pantheon, the Ashe taken away, the Orianna as well. So some pretty big staples already out.
I mean, it's actually really interesting to see the blue side right of choice twice in a row, almost as if to signify that it's some kind of a meta, because I'm pretty perplexed by it. It seems like pick order is usually more important, and then if map side is your preference, red side is the one that hypothetically has more Drake control, you know? Well, I mean, I suppose as blue side, you can play for
It's
Banana
hard to
Bush.
get into Dragon from blue
It's very
side,
ambiguous.
like,
it's very ambiguous, but...
Yeah, and if we're talking about them playing to top side and playing for those grubs, blue side is perfect
You did
for that,
say
right?
grubs.
So,
You did say grubs.
yeah,
so that's what I'm thinking here. It's a top side angle.
Yeah. What jungler is he going to pick? There's no Pantheon. We could go for Nocturne, but could be a bit weak towards Jarvan. I'm thinking Xin Zhao is more than likely going to be the case for JunJia, unless he wants to go for things like the Skarner, which we've seen before.
Yeah, I see no reason not to go Xin Zhao. He's just such a strong character right now. And honestly, the Jarvan first pick is pretty bold. I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's very few meta champions who have counterplayed a Jarvan, though. Like, to be honest, as far as the AD carry pool goes, I'm pretty sure, like, low-key, the only one is Yunara. Like, I don't think there's really any other meta AD carries. Ezreal, there's one. Okay, fair enough. But most champion... And then as for the mid lane, there's, like, none. Like, it's actually, like, a Kali or Ari, but those aren't even, like... blind picks, you know. So Jarvan, I like it. The enemy team goes you go face up Jarvan and they go Rise Varus.
We are getting a Cassiopeia, which Creme has only played once this season already. Was kind of surprised to see him on this champion last time. I don't think I was super impressed, and generally I've been kind of unfazed by watching Cassiopeias. I know Renard tonight just had a really great performance, but into the Rise, I just feel like I would prefer to have Rise where I can play on side lanes. I can have my jungler roam with me on these outer lanes, especially if we have a range support like a Bard. I'm gonna love that, and they've even gotten themselves now a Jace to play around this for top esports.
Yeah, the meta is just so unique when it comes to this whole Rise dynamic, because everyone cares so much about these globals, this threat of kind of Rise, Galio, Nocturne, Pantheon kind of deal in the mid lane and jungle, and so you just want Rise as often as you can. As far as counters go, again, it's always the Cassio and the Anivia typically, but as you say, I think Cassio, as much as she did perform in the first series, it's a pretty unstable champion. Like, for example, in the mid game here, you could even just get poked out by Varus, outranged all game, and then you can even just get dove on top of by a lot of champions yet to be drafted. You definitely want to ban champions that can easily get on top of you, such as the Bard. So I like that a lot. I think low-key Nocturne is like kind of able to get there, but I'm not sure if you want to ban that.
I mean, already look at what JDG solo lanes are, right? Rise, Yorick, we're gonna play to one side lane at some point. There's gonna be a Realm Warp once Rise gets his ultimate, and then we're gonna try to go for a tower dive. I really would like a tank jungle here. I know we were talking a lot about Xin Zhao, still up and available. Skarner allows for JunJia to kind of still be aggressive, but if they want to go for more dive alongside this Nico, I think Nefiri does have some legs to stand on here in this game number one. We'll see what JDG try to go for. It seems like right now top esports are going to try to build out a composition that's going to abuse Jace's 2-item power spike when we're getting into those 5-on-5 standoffs, and then Jarvan basically snaps whoever walks up too early.
I think the crowd really wants the Jhin from JiaQi Love. I don't think they're going to get it though. But
good. That's good.
Probably for the
we
best.
We don't want to see that.
We're going to get a pairing here, most definitely, the Yunara Lulu. It's a pretty good pick. You know, Nico going to the other side, though, means they're going to have an insanely strong lane either way with the Varus Nico. So I feel like they're going to get bot prio as JDG here. It's really hard to play against Varus Nico as any champions in the game. And honestly, Yunara Lulu doesn't have the most range and level 1, early landing phase compared to this. So we'll see if that can give JunJia the opportunity to have some prio to do JunJia things.
We waited all the way to R5 to get Xin Zhao. That's crazy to me. Wow. This champion is very disgusting. And right now, Fools, what I think we can look at for top esports is that I don't want to see them like stumble. I don't want to see them hesitate, because the moment that they are not moving forward or they're not aggressing, there's a NaiYou who's poking you out, there's a Varus who's poking you out, and I don't think you really want to get in that trade war as a Yunara and a Cassiopeia.
Yeah, I totally agree that this is the kind of comp as top esports where you kind of have to keep your foot on the gas for the most of the game, if not all of it. I think if you really do mess up a pivotal turn, it could completely cook the rest of your game here, where you're just going to have an unkillable Xin Zhao and this unreachable backline with this Varus and with this space they're able to generate with the NaiYou, with the Xin Zhao. It's going to be a really hard comp to get through. So I actually really like JDG's comp more in this particular draft. You know, it's interesting because in the previous series, there was a Yorick Rise, and I didn't really like what they were going for as much because the enemy team had a really stock standard Ashe Seraphine teamfight comp. This is not Ashe Seraphine teamfight comp. It takes a little more finesse to execute.
Yep. We'll see if they're able to do it. I mean, this is another matchup, I think, for Sueon, where he's playing the Jace into a bit of a bigger bruiser that's going to be able to hopefully tank him. If he stumbles at all on this Jace, Yorick becomes unkillable, Jace becomes unkillable on side. It's a big test here for Top Esports as they're going to look for their third series win over JDG. Well, let's get right into game number 1 between these two teams.
That crowd is roaring all, especially compared. I thought Series 1 was loud, but this is even more exciting energy. We're going to watch this bot lane here. Really tough for our boy JiaQi Love, making his reintroduction. Tough lane right here.
Yeah, NaiYou has really fallen off in terms of priority with just the round of nerfs that she continues to receive thanks to pro play. She's definitely fallen in priority when we're talking about drafts. So to see them go for this immediately here in game number 1 is interesting, right? It's not one of the enchanters we've been seeing across the world really globally take over. Also, junglers starting on opposite sides of the map with early vision already here from JDG to try to spot out TN.
Yeah, really useful ward to get the Raptor, which is pretty interesting that Rise Xin Zhao were just able to walk up level 1 and get this Raptor ward. As Cassio, I feel like you can kind of defend that a little bit, but that's definitely going to mean that the vision advantage and the awareness of the map is going to be in JDG's favor. I mean, they're not going to necessarily know that JunJia's clearing bot to top, so that could mean that they could surprise Xian at this level 4 Xin Zhao.
Are they going to go for a bot dive? Because Vampire is already half HP. Looks like they're going to feign a recall, probably just be in range for the experience that's coming into the wave underneath the turret. And is there a potential dive, or even a gank, I should say, from JunJia on the opposite side? Because if you're Jace, I look at this wave and I'm like, oh, I'm not getting I'm not going to get a wave pushed back out on me. I might get frozen on here by Xiaoxu.
Yeah, it seems to me that the main volatility here is this top lane. It seems like that recall from Vampire just completely stabilizes the lane. It definitely solidifies Top Esports as having the superior start to the lane, but it's going to reduce the volatility. So as Tian here, you're in the bot side, you want to cross over. You may as well mess with HongQ when you get the chance. You're going to have quite a big timer here. So.
Mid laner is like, hey, can we get some ganks on mid on level 3, on level 4 Rise? It's like, no, there's Scuttle. Sorry, brother. It's like, yeah, all right, fair play. I'm not going to be able to have fun there.
He might almost change his mind about that, but yeah, they're both going to have that school of thought here. Just take the recall, play for your next camps. You saw JunJia there, actually cancels the recall to get a delayed ward on the Raptor pit. Pretty base.
Oh, he's
another
staying
cancel
he wants
there.
Creme. If Creme walks a little bit to the left,
yeah,
I think that they're going to go for it, yeah. If not, you're just forcing out the ghost. It's immediately one summoner spell used by HongQ. Now both, as the flash trade between the two mid laners. Very good trade for JDG. And they're going to see if they can get anything onto Xiaoxu here. No dark procession. Flash with a hammer swing. Gulf swing to throw Xiaoxu into the minion wave. They got his flash. I don't think it's enough. The grasp healing. One more auto attack from Sueon. It was a grasp proc that kept Xiaoxu alive, but that first blood's going over to Chase immediately.
Wow, both teams going for a look at a relatively simultaneous time, but Creme able to space HongQ there, whereas Xiaoxu not so much. Gets really well played on the E flash there from... You want to pronounce Jason's name for me and give us a bit of a quick insight?
So you and I are going to do this. We're going to do Swayon.
Swayon. Yeah, of course. Swayon was a really beautiful E flash there, man. I must say, W Swayon.
For folks who don't know who Swayon is, came in from their LDL team over in the development league for Top Esports Challengers. Has been there for a little bit of time. Mostly made his name on some tanks over on that team, but coming in, having to fill in for 369, who is currently out on kind of a personal sabbatical. He wasn't feeling he was in form and is kind of helping Swayon play in the LPL, at least from a positional coach position. So it'll be interesting. Again, I'm wondering how long this experiment is going to last, because it's early on into the split, but if we get over the halfway point, I wonder if Top Esports just kind of say, like, we're just going to stick with Swayon. I don't think that'll be likely, just because of 369's pedigree and his resume is just that much better than Swayon's. But if we have good performances from this rookie top laner, I think there's a very real conversation to have him continue to start, at least for the remainder of this split.
Yeah, and I might be misremembering, because I've literally played against so many random like LCKCL and LDL players, but I'm pretty sure I did see Swayon in the KR ladder and that he was actually pretty good. So I would not be surprised if he is able to be a placeholder in the LPL and, you know, actually keep that promotion, because I mean, honestly, just the way he's moving, it's looking nice. I don't know how to explain it. Just the all caps, the E flash, the 650 gold lead. He's got some aura on this scoreboard right now. So I don't know. I'm a believer.
He got a top lane gank. That's usually more than most top laners get. Right now, it was an early dragon being started by JDG. Looks like that'll be their prize for the amount of priority that TN has shown towards this top side. We won't have grubs for another minute and a half, but that is, again, a big point of contention for Top Esports when we've seen them in previous series. I think JDG are kind of happy overall. Yes, they probably would like if their top laner didn't get solo killed, but aside from that, they try to make a play onto Creme, which I don't think we're going to see a follow-through. But we have generally, I think, successful lanes, and that's going to feel really, really good when we're talking about having a rise.
Immediate flash from Fengyue in response to the Chains of Corruption. That's going to be a trade of flashes overall.
Oh, and, you know, no flash on Vampire is probably not the best, but he's not going to have ult for at least another minute or so. See if we get any punish here from Top Esports. Again, Tiana's on the top side of the map, 50 seconds before these grubs spawn. You do not want to give grubs over to a team that has Yorick and Rise. That sounds like extreme misery to play against, but unless we see him kind of swap up his pathing, Tian's going to end up on the bottom side of the map.
You absolutely do not want to let Xiaoxu have these grubs, or you may just not get to play the game at all. Like, he may just literally drag you around the map for as long as it takes until he just one-shots all of your structures. So this grubs is definitely a heated objective.
There's a big wave stacking here. It's probably not going to be on this timer, but maybe closer to the next one coming in. Rise, knowing that Cassiopeia is looking for a recall, they could send multiple members up into this lane. You already see Vampires clearing vision out on top side. Xin Zhao is now coming as well. This could be a 1v3. Lulu is beelining over to this try to make this play happen. And Swayon's going to have to do something, but he just has a flash and barely 30% HP.
Looks like Fengyue gonna arrive on time. I thought Swayon was absolutely toast there.
Oh.
He's chilling,
man. Yeah, if Fengyue didn't show, or if Fengyue didn't show, HongQ is already on his way. He's sitting in Trap Rush as well. Tian's gonna walk over. It's a single rune prison that'll keep him away. Looks like one grub will be going over. He'll get the full heal into the second one. He'll smite that one as well. And JunJia just gonna give over the scraps to Tian, or maybe we'll look for a fight. He actually isn't able to continue to contest. Xiaoxu locks up Tian. This is a really tricky fight for JDG to take. And Top Esports are not going to get much more out of this.
So I'll tell you what I'm observing all here is, there seems to be just more discipline with these teams than the set we just watched. Like I
wonder why.
Pretty sure that had we been watching IGWE, some random deaths and scrapping would have taken place there over just a grub that's a consolation prize. So I'm glad to at least see some restraint being shown here, that these teams know, you know, it's good to know when not to go in. You know, people are really good at knowing when to go in. Sometimes it's good to know when not to go in.
Right now, it'll be a small window, I think, where Top Esports can continue their lead. They have almost 1,400 gold, but almost all of it is in Sueyon's pocket. JiaQi Love, who traded his cleanse to get Gala's ultimate here, is going to try to go Transcendent and trade with enemy AD carry. He's going to take a single Yanmei leap, keep him at least a little bit more safe, but I think you are under a bit of duress as JiaQi Love. You're going to look for a recall versus this poke Varus, who, by the way, has teleport yet again.
Yeah, I mean, Varus getting through the draft here. Ooh.
Oh,
that's a death.
Yeah, that's just a really nice one play. Oh, flash from HongQ to save him 90 HP. Not even a potion ticking, just is able to barely squeak out from what is a very low damage Cassiopeia this early on. It's Catalyst, right? Catalyst and tier.
Yeah, that's almost just as bad as a death, but it's not. Luckily, he's able to survive at the cost of both of his sums. The more important part here is if he's able to gather some kind of golden XP, because if he was forced to take a recall, like you see how he's overstaying here with like literally no health. That's really nice because he does collect that golden XP. Had he not done so, the play would matter a heck of a lot more. So HongQ surviving there definitely helps him keep this game state in decent standing, but you know, no Lucid Boots, no Cosmic Insight. That's just 5 whole minutes for when it comes to Ghost of way less utility on the map.
Look at Creme here. He's finished Rod of Ages at 11 minutes. Another flash forced by Gala. Fengyue will not have that available to him for this dragon that is currently spawning. You saw that there was some contest around the bot side Tri-Brush in favor of Top Esports, but JDG are just holding strong. They're very much in touching distance. I think you win this fight around Dragon, and suddenly the game is going to look a lot more fair if you are Jindon Gaming, but I'm looking at Cassiopeia already having completed that Rod of Ages. That is, I think, a really big spike where in comparison HongQ doesn't have very much.
Yeah, and HongQ looking a bit shaky. I think even the way he's clearing some of those minions looking a bit sus. I don't think you're contesting this, or that you're flashing in as an IG way cosplay here, so I think this should just be a disengage. No shenanigans.
I'm actually quite surprised we didn't see anything from JDG. You have a flash on Vampire that's already up. Gala's been honestly slinging arrows across the map and dealing a hell of a lot of damage. There could have been an angle. They decide not to. That's going to keep the game state relatively. This Top Esports were able to secure, yeah, it was Top Esports were able to grab that for themselves. And Ocean Drake's not bad. HongQ, Realm Warp dive. All right. Second time's a try onto Sueyon. No minions or no mana. And does he end up surviving here? Flash again to get away from the overload. That's not going to matter. Wave's going to be taken here by JDG.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sueyon just can't possibly survive that. HongQ committing all of his tempo into this play. It means JDG's bot side.
What a vision toggle from the observers. TES are able to sneak their jungler behind the wave. That's Gala going down. A trade on the opposite side, but still 3 grubs or 2 grubs here for Yorick. He's getting paid.
Yeah, and that's that first pick Jarvan coming in clutch. I mean, it's kind of a method. You just leave Varus open and first pick Jarvan. I kind of see the vision here. That right there is exactly why. I mean, Gala, he's been having prio and precedence all game, just able to rain those arrows from afar, but fortunately he's finally put in his place by Tian, and yeah, Tian looking like he can easily hang in the LPL.
This guy, a lot of love for him, obviously, a lot of hardships in his career, but exciting to see Tian kind of hang out and be back on the lineup. It's not quite like 369 and bringing him over, but it's damn near close, at least to me. I love seeing Tian in the league. Always brings a lot of flavor and a lot of good plays, so I'm excited what he's going to be able to do joining up with JiaQi Love again, and Creme for that matter. But game is relatively even. I mean, 1-1 in Drake's. The 2 grubs over to JDG is going to feel really nice, especially if they're going to continue to kind of leverage this Rise going to sides a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just got to keep an overall track of which team has been winning out on each of the plays, because the plays in this game are a bit more few and far between, because the teams are showing restraint. There's not just random skirmishes and combat all the time, but it's those slight moments that can have huge impact, such as Gala dying down there, burning his flash and everything. That is the real reason that JDG is staring a pretty big TES gold lead in the face right now, because Gala had himself in pretty good shape previously, but now instead of Gala having a gold lead over JiaQi, it's Tian who has the gold lead over JunJia. He almost stole Gala's gold lead away from him. Kind of feels bad, man.
Jungle's OP, we said it earlier. It turns out it's pretty good.
It's being OP, man. Tian completely carrying this game thus far. Mr. Unk question mark. Does he still got it? Survey says yes. That's all I'm gonna say.
See if Herald is going to be something they can move for with HongQ and Creme on the bot side. It looks like this is going to be a 4-on-4 for the ages. Swayon will have to play weak side Jace, or at least on the 1-on-1 versus Yorick. Feels a bit worse, especially if you're going to walk into Fog of War versus NaiYou. I think Top Esports are going to have their work cut out for them if JDG are able to continue controlling this river.
Yeah, JunJia's stepping pretty aggressively.
That's crazy.
Okay? Yeah.
I guess he is in now. I guess you're just allowed to do that when you have pressing guard. There's Vampire, we talked about it. There's the flash, there's the not attempt at a proto belt, but a complete turnaround. Top Esports, they're able to blow up Vampire. Xiaoxu finally flanks on in, but look at these arrows from Gala. They're just tearing it apart and letting this Yorick run rampant. HongQ even had time to rotate all the way from bottom lane, and now 3 kills going over to JDG. They'll trade a mid lane tier play, but you're going to take that for even just trying to fight over this Herald and getting all of those summoner spells.
Yeah, finally a real fight breaks out.
Oh,
Fengyue, not too long for this world.
They're gonna get this kill, by the way. There's the ghouls. That's a Kobe. 3-pointer, fadeaway explosion, and they get the turret. So JDG, they don't get the objective, but these are kind of like the big ramifications of giving up those grubs and then losing this big fight right in front of the objective.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like JunJia is just clicking extremely aggressively for no reason, but it turns out the NaiYou champ is just that OP. You can set up and engage of this beautiful masterpiece, and even sacrificing your life in the process, completely fine. Once this Yorick champ is just unkillable, there's not enough damage left, he takes over the fight, man. It's so...
Okay, Dragon taken by Top Esports in trade for the Herald. I love the way that JDG used vision in that instance, because they had control of the top side of the river and Xiaoxu went into Fog of War. I think there's a very real conversation to be had without knowing the comps from Top Esports, that they actually just thought that was Xiaoxu. And so when Vampire walks forward and flash ults, they're like, oh crap, it's actually NaiYou. Okay, well, the fight's kind of doomed from that point on. So good attempt from Top Esports, but not good enough, I think. And like you mentioned, already has the plated steel caps, is getting closer to his second item. Xiaoxu is going to become really, really difficult to deal with, and really the only people that we can look towards for Top Esports to get them back into this game, I think, is going to be in JiaQi mode, but a bit of a hard time. Oh, goodbye, Fengyue. Goodbye. Yep. All right, Herald,
one chance of corruption, 1 kill. It's that easy, man. Gala beat hit mode.
This is level 14, guys. Do we have the HP? Yes. Do we have the damage? Also, yes. Almost actually trades 1-for-1.
No.
But, hey, what if the 1-for-1 is actually just 2-0 in your favor? Tien will get out, but Swayon's gonna TP! He gets out with barely 100 HP! Oh my god. He lives, 155. They're gonna take this turret. They're getting paid. Oh, brother. All right.
I'm gonna put on a show for the crowd. The crowd likes it, but it's looking pretty dire as TES here. Feels like you haven't had a lick in so long. Feels like every single sequence has not been going your way. Honestly, the past like 3 fights ever since Vampire found that Nico engage, this game has been pretty hard to recover from. I mean, Xiaoxu's just not dying. Like, you get him low, and he just goes, boom, plus 343 health, and you wonder where you went wrong.
The Q healing, the Trinity Force, obviously Grasp is also helping, so he's becoming a bit of a menace. Gala continues to pump out damage with all these Blight procs and the arrows. Poke Varus. When are we going to remove this champion from competitive play? Riot, please. I love Varus to death. I'm done seeing this champion for a little bit. You know, let's get some newbies in. I want to see some new different AD carries.
Yeah, I actually agree. That's a pretty base take. I think Varus, he's a really cool champion, but the thing I don't like about him is this build. Like, it's really OP, that's the problem. It's just so oppressive to play against because he just has so much range, does so much damage, and he even just has this ulti that, as you've seen, all game he's been landing those, getting cryo, getting summoner spells, even getting 4 KP. So, you know, hopefully Riot maybe nerfs Varus' lethality scalings, his AD scalings, and lean more into the Dusk and Done top lane Varus.
Okay. You lost me there. We were in accordance, and then you're like, yeah, I actually want to see Varus top instead. No, don't do that. But
what if it's the Shy, man? What if it's someone like that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, until that brother logs onto the server, we don't need to have it, okay? That guy's not even on the team right now. He's not playing. So
we need to bring back Bro, man. I mean, I don't know. All I'm saying is this Varus champ completely overpowered, man. And as top esports, you are in a hole that you need to dig way out of right now.
It is 2,000 gold, and for top esports, I think looking at this next dragon is going to be rather important. If they're able to get to Soul Point, that does give them, I think, some breathing room, especially because it will be double Chemtech Dragon for themselves. Also, if JDG do acquire this, then I think the talk of a Dragon Soul is kind of null and void. Very big ultimate landing on the JiaQi, forces out his Transcendence. Does mean that Crescent Guard is issued by JunJia. You can see that the side lane's in a really nice position here for JDG, where they can continue to hold the top wave and let Rise push on bottom lane, and he can even shift over if they want to make a numbers play in mid lane. So now with no cleanse available to JiaQi, that is something that they can recreate to find picks going forward. HongQ has to just press the ghost because he's afraid of a small collapse, but we're 30 seconds away from this dragon. We just got ourselves some pretty good summoner spells.
Yeah, I like the ghost usage from HongQ, and also running back this way, playing pretty aggressively to control the space. That's definitely going to yield JDG this dragon control here. I would doubt that top esports is able to get in here and do something about it. But look at the way that, again, Gala just carrying the game state. He's first chunking out JiaQi and Fengyue in the mid lane, getting the mid lane tower, and bringing the cleanse, as well as the ulti from JiaQi. I mean, look, and the Chains of Corruption is back up. So he's just able to keep doing this, and there's just nothing you can really do as top unless you find some kind of a deep engage. But this Jarvan, I don't think you're getting there with enough damage.
He's got 2 items, and look, Creme's already done with his Rod of Ages. This fight could be really pivotal. I think if he gets 2 kills, maybe he gets level 16, and then we can maybe have a different discussion. Dragon is in here at Soul Point, but Vampire, 3-man ultimate. What else can they find? Look at this. JDG are spread out on multiple sides. Gala's trying to get away from TN. That ends up failing. TES Creme moves forward, actually gets the flash out from JunJia. Can they trade? Look at the opposite side of the map. TN, Swayon versus Xiaoxu and HongQ. Looks like JDG will win out on more sides of this fight, but the Soul getting that much closer for top esports is going to maybe be their last gasp.
Okay, this is going to make the game actually really interesting because it seemed like TES was pretty cooked, but now with Soul Point, you've got a chance here. I like the Baron start. You've got TP on Gala. Your champions do this pretty well. There is a Blast Cone, and there is a bunch of champions who are not happy about this.
You know, it's just Creme, who again doesn't have Flash. If Swayon steals this with a Shock Blast, then this guy's just the rookie of the split, I think, immediately here. Top esports, they have no business contesting this. They're just going to watch the Baron get taken in front of them. And for now, it'll be JDG rocking up to a 4,000 gold lead. Let's see if they can try to utilize this gold now. Take a look back at this fight again.
Yeah, so I didn't quite catch Vampire's engage here. I would expect that he can get more here, almost. going for the R. Oh, he gets all 3. That's a really good game.
Yeah.
But again, he just goes in, he CCs them, and he dies. I guess that's literally just his job. And yeah, but Top Esports is lasting in the Drake there. JunJia low-key failed his flash, and it ended up working out so hard. Because imagine that you see the direction the Blast Cone took them, where now JunJia's able to connect to HongQ. Like, perhaps Creme, had he not misplayed around that Blast Cone, the Baron wouldn't have died if you really think about it. So
Maybe he could have gone enemy jungle. Maybe they could have turned. A lot of possibilities that'll just have to be left unanswered here as the game goes on. Continuing to make side lane plays. That's what JDG will do here in this game number 1. Have a pretty nice lead for themselves, and that 1,000 goal difference that we saw for Swayon early after that gank, completely gone now. 2,500, and Fengyue from full, taken down to 40% thanks to Gala's Varus. They're going to poke out JiaQi Love, and they're playing on 2 lanes with this Baron buff.
Yep, and not only having that gold lead, but actually it's in his inventory right now in a literal Serpent's Fang on Gala here. So
that was really well played there
That's
from Top
huge.
Esports. Kind of basic, yes, but they grab the HongQ Rise, and that means that that's pressure off of the map. They can finally regain control of mid lane. This also allows Creme to finally sit in bottom lane wave. We'll see if he'll connect with the rest of the team. Crystalline Overgrowth will guarantee the mid-tier 1 for TES.
You know, it's funny because some mistakes can look really bad and matter not a lot. Some mistakes cannot look as bad, but matter quite a lot. And this mistake from HongQ, it looks kind of random, kind of seamless, you know, kind of whatever. But this is a huge, the consequences of this mistake are huge. Because not only is he giving them 1k gold here practically, he's also losing his mid lane tower, which is really going to help Top Esports access this mid wave to catch it high in an attempt to get this Chemtech sold. So HongQ definitely making quite the blunder there. And if anything, Top Esports still has their mid tier 2, which they should not have been able to defend there on that turn. So it's a pretty big deal.
It's really fragile though, right? And that's
Yeah.
what my worry is. Baron's gonna run out, so this will be the last moment we see these Baron buffs kind of be useful for now. But with 3 grubs, I think if they win this fight as JDG, you take the mid-tier 1 and maybe you go further for an inhibitor. Some of these death timers are going to start to get very long now that we're at about 26.5 minutes. So before we get into this next fight here, fools, how are we feeling? What's the temperature check on this game right now?
Temperature check is that it's pretty dire. The room is on fire as Top Esports. You're looking around, everything's on fire, but you know that you've got some kind of fire extinguishers, okay? You know, everything's burning. You need to clutch this up. You need to go somehow reach across the burning staircase, get to the fire extinguisher, and smite this Chemtech dragon. I think that's your main hope right now, because if you don't play for this Drake and play for an alternate reality, I don't think you have enough time or wherewithal. It's got to be here. It's got to be now.
Teleport there from Swayon gets spotted out. You saw some pings coming in from JDG. They see that Jace is on this side of the map. Who is going to step forward? We talked about having to be there first. I don't think that you want to be as Top Esports walking into all of this poke already, but JDG are going to make it a little bit more difficult for them. JunJia goes in. Will he have to flash out of this pit is the big question for me. We're seeing Creme join up with the rest of this team now. Xiaoxu is on this side. He's taking a little bit of damage. JiaQi Love goes Transcendent. They try to find HongQ on this side. Vampire's looking and will get 2 members. TN barely goes low, but a giant from the Lulu will keep him alive. Fengyue may have just saved this entire play. And Top Esports, they're winning this team fight. Swayon is flashing forward to find Gala, but he's not going to get anything. Xiaoxu goes down, and Soul will be secured by Top Esports.
There is just no way that Top Esports clutches this. We do not have surely JDG Gumayushi.
Oh, it's on Vision. Here we go. He's playing the Varus skin.
Surely
1600.
Okay.
TN gets the smite. We get it. We don't even have to worry about it. I know you're wearing your T1 jersey, which, by the way, we need to talk about later. Not during this game, but later. You and me one-on-one. But, man, what an insane fight here.
Man, and the gold lead finally coming even off of the back of this crazy miraculously, but look at Tian here. He should totally just get one shot and killed in the CC. How little HP does one man need to win the game? He has literally 2-digit HP, survives. Suddenly, he's got 4-digit HP. And not only that, they've got 4 dragons to boost. Just because he took scaling HP runes in his runes, man. I mean, maybe he took flat HP and he just still lives, but that amount of HP he lives on there is crazy. You gotta feel so tilted about that if you're JDG.
Look at the damage graph. I mean, JunJia did nothing there in that play. He got stuck in the pit and he's like, well, I guess I'm fighting my way out. There's one way and it's through the opponents right there. I didn't even notice that Creme lands that petrifying gaze onto HongQ and it flashed forward looking for JiaQi. Now they have the soul. We said the room was on fire. Seems like things have started to really fan the flames here. It's still even between these two teams, and I think we get to this Baron, and I still don't know who's gonna. I guess it's a soul, but it's not like a Hextech or an Infernal Soul that's going to give you massive combat power.
Oh yeah, no, this is actually really bizarre. I would expect that the team with, if it's an even gold lead, the team with the soul is just certainly favored to win, but in this case, I don't really necessarily know or think so. It's hard to feel like they have that much of a lead here. The champions are just, I don't know, I think it's just this Yorick, man. It just seems so much more valuable than this Jace. And we're going to have to see, that's the main chess piece here for the rest of this game, is where does Xiaoxu go? He's going to be the huge pressure point. And it's just going to be about top esports placing their bets as to if they want to spend time into Xiaoxu or away from Xiaoxu. And this could easily work.
We have to play respectful. No one's showing on sides right now. There we go. There's the engage on the Vampire. Swayon is just dead. The 4v5 will now be started. It'll be JDG answering from the top side of this river. Top esports with no dreams, hopes, or even imaginatory figures for them to even contest for this Baron now. Creme will walk forward. He'll start to hit away. Can Tian even do anything? He's on the opposite side. Maybe look for HongQ. There's an engage. Oh my god, Fengyue just gets swatted away. JunJia and the rest of JDG will rip him apart. Reposition with a Realm Orb. JiaQi is trying to survive. Can he finally take down JunJia? Have they found this? Somehow Top Esports, from the grasp of defeat, have found a victory against JDG. The damage dealers for them were just not enough. I thought it was JiaQi trolling going forward like that. They just won this fight.
Of course, man. I don't even know how or why, but the Chemtech Soul is just that broken. What the heck? I mean,
oh my god.
Wow. That did not look like it was going to happen like that, but they might even push for the end off of the back of a game that I thought was completely set on fire. And so I guess it's just this look here.
Where are the damage dealers? Where are we looking here?
The zoning HongQ, Fengyue completely restores JiaQi by a solid 1k plus health here. He can't get through the Xinzao, but somehow he's just able to withstand all of this. It's just totally the Chemtech Soul carry. Because
are they just winning the game?
They're gonna end, yeah.
Hold up. Vampire is dead. That guy is gone. Do they have another minion wave? They're trying to protect the cannon minion. TES have just won a massive game versus JDG. We thought lane plays were going to be the way that we saw JDG win, but a soul will just confirm everything. An amazing Baron fight grabs Top Esports' game number 1.
I mean, JDG was supposed to win that game. Like, they were playing better.
Allegedly.
They did more things well than Top Esports did, but it was the things that Top Esports that those happened at the more important moments. You don't gotta do everything right. You just gotta do something right at the right time.
Beautiful. Very, very beautiful there. I mean,
JiaQi
and Tian Omega clutched up in those last 2 fights. I mean, the Dragon fight, we're seeing him and the rest of his team like Omega clutch. Creme kind of being a silent killer on this Cassiopeia and some of those last skirmishes. Yep. What an insane game, man. Wow.
Yeah, that was like really unexpected, and it's all off of the back of Tian, low-key. I mean, you have to really give him MVP here, in my opinion. Just getting all these Drakes, finding this early game looks, he was able to set up Shuyan in that top lane really well. He was able to set up that bot lane really well with that look onto Gala, and had he not found some of these looks, it seemed like that game would have just completely fallen apart. Not only did he keep it together like glue, like tape, but he also was able to like he not only he didn't just stop them from losing, he made them do that and also single-handedly also win the game. Like how the heck did they win that game?
That Jarvan fight where he goes in and we're thinking he's gonna die. He gets Lulu ulted, gets
Yeah,
multiple
that was
people
it.
knocked up, and then like
Crazy.
just beautiful stuff. I think all around a very well played fight, but it came with a lot of questions. Like that mid game, it's so funny because we talking about like top esports being really aggressive in the early game, mostly around jungle. They had an early game lead, and then they kill Jace one time on top side. They then make a play as well where they're able to take out JiaQi and Fengyue, and it's like, okay, the game is now super playable for JDG, and it's just small things coming to kind of bite them here towards the tail end.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was just like death by 1,000 cuts, it felt like, or even like 10 cuts, like just like some really small mistakes that they weren't like that big. But I remember I brought this up. It was that mistake from HongQ, just really randomly dying under the enemy mid-tier 2, giving over 1k, losing his mid tower because of it. It seems like a really random, arbitrary mistake, but that's no arbitrary mistake at all. That is a very specific mistake that can definitively make the game harder for you, and if anything, prevent your checkmate from taking place. So instead of having this stranglehold on the victory, he lets it slip as HongQ there. I'm going to be honest. I was watching him play pretty closely that game,
graph.
Man. That is a freaking awesome gold graph, man.
LPL gold graph, a 9,000 gold swing right there from JDG at the height of their power. 25 minutes, lose the soul, lose the Baron. Wow. So many fights where I'm seeing Vampire get massive engagements. Gala's putting out damage. You were kind of setting him up as the big hero for this team. He had his 1,000 gold lead, and then it took 1.5 fights, and suddenly JiaQi is up 2,000 gold on him.
Yeah, I still can't really understand what just happened. I think even as JDG, like you kind of, you meet up after that game and you discuss it, and it must be such a strange feeling walking away from that as a defeat, because I really contend that they played better, like overall. It's just that when it mattered most, that top esports was getting the outcomes they needed. Like that Jarvan living with 1 HP into the Lulu ult Chemtech soul, like you can't make that up, man. That's gotta feel real bad as JDG. Like they did play overall quite well, but wow, we might have an LPL circle of life where JDG runs AL, but top esports runs JDG.
It's so funny because I'm looking at their their head-to-head, at least just this year. Played twice, obviously, in the regular season. In split number 1, it went 1-1 in series score. It was both 2-0s, but on both ends. And then they get to playoffs. They play that massive 5-game series in the upper bracket quarterfinals, if I'm correct. Goes to 5. JDG end up winning that game number 5. And so they're basically even. It's a 1-game advantage to JDG that has been already subsumed thanks to this game win here.
Yeah, actually they're pretty well evenly stacked up, it seems like. I don't know, like somehow like they were able to do this to AL. They were able to do what they were able to do last night to AL, or a couple nights to AL, but to JDG is able to withstand Top Esports is able to withstand JDG, which most teams have not been able to do.
So I did some digging. Do you know, or do you want to take a guess as to how many games both of these 80 carries have played in the or just in their career?
How many games like combined between the two of them?
Just yeah, if you want to say like for both of them.
All right, so I'm gonna say it's gotta be like, I'm thinking like 300 each or something. Like it's gotta be like quite a lot.
Double that. Gala has played 674. This is the number that I was trying to avoid. Gala has played 682 games, so almost in its entirety, almost 1,400 games between the two of them. The head-to-head, though, goes in favor of JiaQi, not including the game we just played, is 34-1 in individual games between these two in favor of JiaQi.
Is that real?
Yeah,
34-1 for JiaQi versus Gala. Are we? What?
JiaQi has been been the GOAT for a long time. That brother has had
but
hands.
To be his father like that, though, 34
It's 3 games.
1?
What do you mean? What do you mean his father? It's 3 games.
Oh, I thought you said. Okay, wait. I thought you said 34-1.
Yeah, 34-1 in games, like head-to-head games that they've played against each other. They've played 60. So they've played 65 games against each other. 34 of those are wins in favor of JiaQi.
Okay. So it's not 34 wins for JiaQi, 1 win for Gala?
No.
Okay,
Oh my god.
okay.
Oh
All
my
right.
god.
Yeah, I was like,
He gets
what?
MVP.
I mean, I don't know how we went from that to MVP, because low-key this game, like, Gala was just completely cooking the bot lane the whole time, and then suddenly main character JiaQi just freaking, he's the man. I don't know how did we get to this frame? This was very unexpected.
There's always Yunara scaling, but I did not think it was going to come in like that. That was a game and a half. Maybe giving JiaQi more chances to stand on mid waves really aggressively is maybe just the key. Give him more dashes. We'll see. But that's going to be end of game number 1 here. We'll see if JDG can bounce back for a game number 2, or if we're going to see a clean sweep from TES. Who knows? We'll be right back here after a short break.